The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
There was a girl who was growing up in an irreligious home, and there was a boy that was growing up in an irreligious home. And they both became Bali Tshuva, and they went to Eretz Yisrael, and they both were learning in Eretz Yisrael, and they both met each other, and they dated. They were sheshapchen, they dated, and they decided to get engaged, and they're going to get married. Right? Nice story. Throughout their engagement, interesting, the chassan and kala made up one thing that's going to be in our marriage, and that is we will always have an open dialogue. We will always tell the truth to each other. It's such an important thing. No matter what happens, no matter what goes down, because if you have to tell the truth to your wife, and your wife has to tell the truth to you, and that's what you're going to do, it'll keep you from doing a lot of bad things that you shouldn't do. If that's your dialogue between the two of you. So these two made up that they will tell each other everything about themselves. Okay? So there was a problem. And the problem was that she had a secret that she didn't want to tell him. But Lamaisa, she made a deal with him that no secrets. So finally, she stayed up nights racking her tormented conscience. She cried bitterly. She had no one to confide. And finally, there was less than 2 weeks to the wedding. And she figured he loves me much now I could tell him anything. So the next day she told him her secret. She said that in my previous, when I was non-religious, I had been married for a very short time to a guy. And then I got divorced, and then I became frum, and okay, it's not the end of the world. Like, she didn't cheat on him, right? It's alright. So she said that the whole marriage last few weeks, we divorced in Argentina, in the civil court. I come from Argentina. So she studied him carefully, and this guy that she was going out with, that she was about to get married, instead of saying, okay, don't worry, it's okay, he turned white. And he was almost ready to faint. And she said to him, I didn't think that you would be angry at me for something, that I'm telling you what I did, I'm telling you I got married, it had nothing to do with you, whatever it is. He says, no, you don't understand. I'm a kohen. And a kohen, if a Jewish girl sleeps with a non-Jewish man, he's not allowed to marry her. So she was married to a non-Jewish man. They're getting married in 2 weeks. She now just told him that she was married to a non-Jewish man. He's a kohen. They have to break the marriage. That's why he was white. He wasn't angry at her. So they didn't know what to do. She went to the Rosh Hashiva, and the Rosh Hashiva said you have to go to Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. Ask him what to do. So listen to what happens. They went to the Pesach Hadar, and they figured, let's see, it was after midnight, they were going crazy, 2 weeks to the wedding. They came to Shlomo Zalman's house, and due to the severity of this case, they felt they could knock on the door. They saw that his lights were on inside, so they knocked. The door opened, and Rav Shlomo Zalman listened to the whole story. His face mirrored with sorrow. According to halacha, he told them there was no solution, the couple could not marry. There's no solution. She was married to a guy in Argentina. There's no solution. There's no way around that. The couple stood before Rav Shlomo and they mamish started crying. They wanted to marry. There's nothing they could do. All of a sudden, without warning, Rav Shlomo Zalman started to cry uncontrollably. He saw these two people in so much pain. He's a gadol, right? He felt their pain. His love for his fellow Jew was so apparent that his merciful heart could not bear the pain. The couple later related that it was nearly impossible for them to stand and listen to the tzaddik cry. His crying broke their heart. Tzaddik feels the pain of someone else. Okay? Chazal tells us that a cry from a broken heart does not go unheeded. The very next day, a Jew from Argentina was in Yerushalayim and heard the strange story about a kohen who was engaged to a woman from Argentina who was once married to a Gentile. He knew the woman from back home and remembered her story. He even knew the Gentile and he came forth to testify unequivocally that he knew that the man personally that she was married to, this girl, he wasn't a Gentile after all. This Gentile was really a Jew who had lost his way. The halacha regarding a Jewish woman who marries a Jewish man in a non-kosher marriage ceremony is that the marriage is not considered valid. So their first marriage, because from a divorce, the kohen can't marry her. So from every point, the kohen couldn't marry this girl, right? But she was not religious, so she married her Jewish husband, right, with a reformed marriage, which is not considered a marriage. So therefore, her status goes back to a Jewish woman who had relations with a Jew. So this testimony was accepted and the couple was cleared to be married. The bris shalom brought about by Rav Shlomo Zalman's pure heartfelt tears was enough to initiate divine interventions. We see from here What does it mean, the Bris Yishalom? So it says, Vayikach Romach B'yadai, that he took a Romach in his hand, right? He took all his Evorim, Pinchas, and he put it on the line for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He took over here, Shlomo Zalman took his whole body and everything, and he cried, and therefore from that comes the Bris Yishalom, comes peace.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org